The New York Knicks are once again at the center of trade speculation, and this time, it's one of their most promising young guards drawing league-wide attention. As the season approaches, multiple teams are quietly monitoring the situation surrounding Miles McBride, a player whose stock continues to rise both on the court and in front office discussions. Leave your like and subscribe to the channel so you don't miss any updates. At just 25 years old, McBride is heading into his 5th NBA season, entering a stage in his career where potential and production are beginning to align. The Knicks see him as a valuable rotation piece, someone who can anchor the second unit, provide perimeter defense, and deliver steady scoring when the starters rest. But while the organization remains high on him, rival teams are circling, sensing an opportunity to test New York's resolve. The reason behind all the buzz is simple: McBride's contract. He's locked into one of the best team-friendly deals in the league, a 3-year, $13 million agreement that pays him just over $4 million this season. In a financial landscape where efficient players are earning 2 or 3 times that amount, McBride's deal looks like a bargain. According to SNY insider Ian Begley, that's exactly why his name keeps surfacing in trade chatter. During a podcast appearance with Knicks Film School's Jonathan Macri, Begley explained that McBride may currently hold the highest trade value of any Knicks player not named Jalen Brunson or OG Anunoby. Miles McBride has got the most value if you're looking at what the Knicks could or couldn't do in the trade market. He's got very high value, Begley said. Teams are waiting for the Knicks to make him seriously available, which hasn't happened as of last week. Key stakeholders in New York see him as an important part of what they want to do this year. And we've seen it in the preseason. He's played really well. Begley also noted that much of the current speculation isn't necessarily based on real trade talks, but rather on financial strategy. The Knicks, like many teams operating near the NBA's new second tax apron, have to remain mindful of future spending limits. Should they pursue veterans such as Landry Shamet or Malcolm Brogdon, someone like McBride, with both value and an affordable contract, would naturally enter the conversation as a possible trade piece. Still, there's no indication that the Knicks are eager to part ways with him. The front office and coaching staff view McBride as a player who embodies the team's identity: hard-nosed defense, consistent effort, and quiet confidence. He's the kind of player who might not make headlines every night, but whose impact is felt whenever he's on the floor. Last season, McBride averaged 9.5 points per game, a career high for the former second-round pick out of West Virginia. It was a clear sign of growth, not just in scoring, but in overall composure and command of the game. He became more decisive, more assertive, and showed an ability to adapt to the rhythm of different matchups. That progress has made him one of the most reliable backup guards in the Eastern Conference, capable of changing the tempo of a game the moment he checks in. For the Knicks, McBride's presence off the bench brings stability. When the team's starters rest, McBride often anchors the second unit with poise and energy. He's not only a capable scorer but also a disciplined defender, willing to take on difficult assignments against opposing guards. Of course, the business side of basketball always looms. McBride's contract is a major asset right now, but it won't stay that way forever. If he continues to improve, he'll be due for a significant raise once he becomes a free agent in 2027. That's when difficult decisions could arise, whether to commit long-term to him or explore trade options before his value plateaus. For now, however, the Knicks hold full control. They have 2 full seasons left on his current deal, and that gives them flexibility, both in roster planning and in trade negotiations. There's no pressure to act quickly, no looming deadline forcing their hand. Still, around the league, front offices are keeping tabs. McBride represents the kind of player every contender wants: affordable, reliable, and still developing. He's the kind of piece that can tilt a playoff rotation from good to great. That's why teams are watching, waiting, and hoping New York eventually makes him available. Until that happens, though, the Knicks appear determined to keep McBride in the fold. The organization believes that continuity and chemistry are crucial in a tightly packed Eastern Conference race. With McBride contributing off the bench, New York's rotation looks deeper, more balanced, and better equipped to withstand the long grind of an NBA season. So while the trade rumors won't completely fade, they rarely do in New York, the message coming from inside Madison Square Garden is clear. Miles McBride isn't going anywhere, at least not yet. And as he continues to develop, his growing value could end up serving the Knicks in one of 2 ways, either as a vital contributor to their playoff push or as one of the most attractive trade assets in the league. Either way, Miles McBride's name isn't leaving the headlines anytime soon. The New York Knicks' new guard didn't waste a second showing why his arrival could redefine the team's second unit. From his very first preseason minutes, Jordan Clarkson made it clear. He's here to shoot, create, and bring a jolt of unpredictability to an offense that's been too easy to read for too long. In the NBA, the preseason doesn't tell the whole story. Coaches remind us every year, it's not about the numbers, it's about the hints. It's a time for experiments, rotations, and chemistry tests. It's when a team discovers which ideas are worth keeping and which need to be scrapped before opening night. Yet, in these low-stakes games, we often catch early signs of something real. And for New York, Clarkson's performance has offered exactly that, a preview of a new offensive dynamic taking shape. Every off-season addition brings curiosity, but few have generated the buzz Clarkson has. A proven scorer with a fearless mentality, he joined the Knicks as their marquee free agent signing, carrying both excitement and skepticism in equal measure. Fans have been eager to see if his microwave scoring and fearless isolation play can blend with the disciplined, system-oriented approach that head coach Mike Brown is trying to instill. 3 games in, Clarkson has been impossible to ignore. He's been electric, frustrating, and fascinating, sometimes all in the same quarter. His shot selection has sparked debate among fans and analysts alike, but his aggression has undeniably energized the Knicks' offense. It's a reminder that risk and reward often live side by side when Clarkson has the ball in his hands. Take the recent double overtime win against the Minnesota Timberwolves. It was vintage Clarkson, the full experience. He went 0-for-6 from beyond the arc, part of a broader shooting slump that hit the entire team that night. But he refused to fade into the background. With Jalen Brunson resting, Clarkson seized command, orchestrating the offense with improvisational flair. He attacked the Timberwolves' defense, driving into traffic, pivoting mid-air, and forcing defenders to make split-second choices. His most memorable highlight came late in the second half, a moment of pure creativity. Facing his former Utah Jazz teammate Rudy Gobert, Clarkson drove baseline, pulled the ball back out, and recalibrated at the high post. With 2 defenders closing in, he spun, pump-faked, and elevated into a graceful fadeaway jumper that sliced through the air and dropped cleanly through the net. It was a bold, high-difficulty shot, the kind of make that defines Clarkson's unique appeal. Those kinds of plays won't appear every night, and no one should expect him to hit circus jumpers consistently. But that's not the point. What matters is the mentality. Clarkson brings an attitude, an audacity, that this Knicks team has needed. He's willing to take the hard shots, to shoulder the offense when others hesitate. And that, more than any statistic, explains why New York brought him in. Head coach Mike Brown understands this. His vision for the Knicks revolves around balance, reducing Brunson's heavy workload and spreading the creative responsibility across multiple playmakers. Clarkson fits perfectly into that plan. He's not just a scorer, he's a release valve, a player who can take pressure off Brunson and keep defenses honest. When teams start overloading on Brunson, Clarkson's ability to attack one-on-one or pull up from mid-range becomes a weapon the Knicks didn't have before. Yes, there will be moments when the shots don't fall, when fans groan at a quick trigger or a wild attempt. But those misses are part of the package. The greater truth is that Clarkson gives the Knicks something rare, unpredictability. He can change the rhythm of a game, swing momentum, and force opposing defenses to react differently. That kind of offensive chaos, when controlled, can be deadly in the postseason. For years, the Knicks have been a team defined by structure and grit, a group that defends hard, executes sets, and leans heavily on Brunson to bail them out late in games. Clarkson brings the opposite energy. He thrives in broken plays, in moments where instinct takes over and everything feels improvised. That contrast could be exactly what unlocks New York's next step. Beyond the X's and O's, Clarkson also brings experience, the kind forged through years of coming off the bench and changing games in an instant. He's been a 6th Man of the Year, a playoff contributor, and a veteran presence in locker rooms that needed his fire. Now, in New York, he's being asked to channel that same spark within a bigger spotlight and a louder stage. Preseason or not, the early signs are clear. The Knicks' offense looks different when Clarkson's in command. It's faster, riskier, and far less predictable. Sometimes it looks chaotic. But often, that chaos works, because Clarkson believes every shot he takes is going in. That belief, that unwavering confidence, might just be what separates this Knicks roster from last year's version. It's what could turn a talented playoff team into something more dangerous, and maybe, if everything clicks, something special. As the regular season nears, the message is simple. The Knicks have found another fearless scorer, one who's not afraid of the moment. Jordan Clarkson won't always be perfect, but he'll always be bold. And for a team looking to evolve beyond predictability, that could make all the difference. The New York Knicks could be preparing to make another big splash on the trade market before the new NBA season begins. And if recent history has taught us anything, it's that the Knicks are never far from the headlines when there's a big deal to be made. Last season was proof of that. New York shocked the league when it completed a blockbuster trade with the Minnesota Timberwolves to acquire Karl-Anthony Towns. The Knicks sent Julius Randle, Dante DiVincenzo, and a future first-round pick in return, instantly reshaping their roster and signaling that they were serious about competing for a championship. Now, as another season approaches, the Knicks once again find themselves at the center of trade speculation, this time involving one of the league's biggest names, Milwaukee Bucks superstar and former MVP, Giannis Antetokounmpo. Rumors have linked the Knicks to the Greek Freak for months, but according to multiple insiders, the chances of such a monumental trade happening before the start of the season are extremely slim. And that raises a critical question. Should the Knicks make a big move now, or should they stay patient and keep their assets intact? For the moment, patience seems to be the smarter play. New York has built a deep, competitive roster, but a move of Antetokounmpo's magnitude would require significant trade capital, something the front office has been carefully protecting. Burning through draft picks or young players too soon could cripple the team's flexibility when the time comes to chase a true superstar. A deal for Giannis won't be simple. It would take a massive package of draft picks, promising young talent, and salary-matching veterans. The Knicks know that. That's why holding off on any major move now makes sense. Every asset counts if they want to be ready when the Bucks, or any other franchise, decide it's time to talk. Still, that doesn't mean the Knicks are staying quiet. Smaller trade rumors continue to circle the team, particularly those involving second-year forward Pacom Dadiot from France. Dadiot, who played sparingly in his rookie season, is viewed around the league as a player with solid potential. At just 19 years old, he's raw but talented, and his size and defensive instincts have drawn comparisons to other young European prospects who took a few seasons to develop into impact players. However, Dadiot's timeline may not align with where the Knicks are headed. New York is built to win now. Their core, featuring Jalen Brunson, Karl-Anthony Towns, OG Anunoby, and Josh Hart, is entering its prime. That means the front office might prefer to flip developmental pieces for assets that can either contribute immediately or help grease the wheels for a bigger trade later. According to ESPN insider Bobby Marks, Dadiot could very well be moved before the season begins. Marks points out that the Knicks are facing financial limitations after signing Gershon Yabusel to the tax mid-level exception this offseason. That move placed them hard against the second apron, a strict spending limit that reduces roster flexibility and triggers additional restrictions on trades and signings. Marks explained, because they improved their bench in the offseason by signing Gershon Yabusel to the tax mid-level exception, they're now hard-capped at the second apron. The restriction will likely push New York to trade one of its draft picks from last June, either Tyler Kolek or Pacom Dadiot, if the goal is to keep veterans Malcolm Brogdon and Landry Shamet. Even though they're above the first apron, the Knicks can still include cash in any deal and have up to 8 second-round picks available. Moving Dadiot's $2.8 million salary would allow them to add a 15th player during the season. That's a revealing insight into how tightly the Knicks are managing their cap sheet. Trading Dadiot wouldn't necessarily mean giving up on his potential. It would be a financial and strategic move to preserve roster balance and future flexibility. If a deal does happen, it could also help set the stage for something much bigger. Turning Dadiot's contract into future draft capital could strengthen New York's position for a blockbuster pursuit of Antetokounmpo, or another superstar, down the line. Every additional pick, every bit of flexibility, could make the difference when the time comes to negotiate for a generational player. So, should the Knicks make a big trade before the season? The short answer is no, at least not yet. The team has positioned itself as one of the most balanced and competitive rosters in the East, and the front office knows the value of timing. A rushed move could close the door on bigger opportunities later. However, any smaller trade that enhances the Knicks' ability to chase Antetokounmpo, or another elite name, should be seen as significant. Sometimes, the most impactful moves are the ones that don't grab headlines right away. For now, the Knicks' best strategy might be to stay patient, stay disciplined, and keep every option open. Because in today's NBA, timing is everything. One smart trade, one well-timed decision, can change the entire trajectory of a franchise. And when that opportunity comes, when the next superstar becomes available, the New York Knicks intend to be ready.